second thing right now that's coming out. This one right here, this one eats at me right here. You know what I mean? All right. Freaking Dana White is now implementing, all right, or, you know, this is what it hearsay right now, a contract clause, all right, allowing UFC, all right, to have a cut of any business a fighter starts. All right. How do you feel about that?
What? Why?
So, all right. So, okay. So, and then
like nothing to do with UFC, nothing to do with
yeah.
fighting,
So, like
nothing.
you're talking about like someone like Dustin Poirier. What is outside of UFC? What does Dustin Poirier have? He has his hot sauce. Have you seen that?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Conor McGregor outside of UFC. What does Conor McGregor have? All right, his whiskey.
A fucking good time.
Are you even
a fucking good time.
Phony.
A fucking good time.
Oh, yeah, but that's what I'm talking about. Things like that outside of the UFC. You know, these guys are, you know, freaking like that. Again, you know, they're using their likeness, what they build on their career, you know, like that, you know, with the UFC, and then outside of that, they're making these things. So, you know, and so he is on record, and you know, and this is a statement that, you know, Dana White made, is that UFC is not a career, it's an opportunity. All right, and you know, what do you think that means?
It's a springboard.
It's a springboard. You're using my platform to create your own platform, and hence all our fans and our followers are going on to your, you know, being your fans and your followers. So that's why you're getting business. All right, this right here touches, you know, freaking a soft spot right now for me, because freaking, you know, this happened to me, you know, in my young career as, you know, as a personal trainer. Because the very first freaking gym that I worked with, all right, it was a brother-owned company like that. All right, and you know, fuck them. All right, because they try to put this shit on me right here. Oh, well, it's my gym and people are coming in because, you know, it's our gym like that, even though it's your, you know, even though you're training them and things like that, we're going to make money off you because, you know, without this gym, you wouldn't even freaking be able to be a trainer and like that. I'm like, what the, what? I was like, bro, you're not doing nothing. All right. And I'm paying you rent to, you know, like that, you know. Like, you know, it's, I was like, come on now.
I'm just borrowing
like,
your equipment for a second.
Like, that's exactly, I'm just subleasing your equipment. All right. You're doing nothing else. All right. How the fuck are you going to make more money off of what I'm doing just because you're renting out this location?
Right.
But I'm subleasing a sublease. You know,
right.
Like, you know,
right, but these guys are risking a lot more for UFC.
To that contract clause, you know what I mean? Because, you know, back in the day, you know, I mean, what the fighters always have, you know, on their banners, on their shorts, you know, and stuff like that when they're working out. What was it?
Crawfish business, shoe business, doctor's office, whoever would sponsor him, whoever would give him money on the way to the fight, whatever. Venom with different, you know, fight shorts.
Like that, all the sponsors, you know what I mean? So freaking, you know, you go back to what freaking Dana White said, is that, you know, MMA is not a career, it's an opportunity. All right, so these guys start seeing opportunity. I have a platform. You know what I mean, I got freaking Jules Johnson's law firm sponsoring me freaking, you know, $10,000 per fight. I got freaking Linton's freaking Home and Garden freaking sponsoring me at $5,000, you know, a fight and stuff. And I got to put it on my shorts, you know, like that, you know. Temporary tattoo it on my back, whatever it is, you know what I mean?
I remember that.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
So,
you know, and then with this Reebok and now with the Venom deals, you know, freaking Dana White took that away from them. They can't freaking do that, you know. So now they got to do these, you know, $100 commercials, freaking, you know, in freaking, you know, Fort Worth, Texas, you know, for, you know, some you know, car salesman like that to make a buck now, you know, or do all these signing autographs, you know, go out to, you know, little rule droves and freaking 5 hours worth of signing autographs just to show them my, you know, my face and things like that. And you're telling me now you're gonna take my money from doing all those things? Is like
the way that people were able to make it. You're a show pony. The way that
go
people
back to NCAA
because that's what made. But that's what made it easy. If you think about it, it technically made it easier on Zuffa because they had other money coming in. So I don't need as much money per fight anymore because I've got another revenue stream. But then when they go when you start to, I remember clear as day when they went and they signed that Reebok deal and those ugly fucking suits that came out. They were
horrible,
fucking terrible.
Misspelled names, everything.
They were terrible, bro. And it was like, what is this? Like, why would you do this? But what happened was they saw an opportunity and they were like, oh, wait a minute, we can make some money on this. Let's get our money here. Mighty Mouse had Xbox, exclusively Xbox.
Yeah.
I mean Microsoft.
Yeah, Microsoft.
He had no
you got John Jones with Nike. You know what I mean? Anderson Silva with, Burger King and stuff like that. Only like certain superstars can really have their own sponsorships on the shorts and stuff like that.
But that was the thing that made them that money, that $10,000 from that law firm, that $4,000 from the restaurant was what made you able to not work and be able to fight the whole time to get ready for the fight. Then they take that away from you, and now all that money, Reebok isn't paying you any money to wear those shorts. Yeah. They're paying all that money.
It's like tens, on the dollar of per pay-per-view. If you're even on the pay-per-view card, because you understand that you don't even get no pay-per-view money unless you're on the main card. You know what I mean? So it's tough, man. Like that, and so then again, with this, all right, I feel like there's going to be a huge change in the wins, on the sales and stuff like that. As if with this first class action lawsuit, how typically how long does something like this? Or because it's already been 10 years,
bro, years, bro,
years. They just purposely do that until they just drain everybody's money.
Well, no, because the lawyers on the side know, that there's money out there for this, but you've got, if you got 1,200 people, you basically have to pour through 1,200 different cases of discovery, because even though I aggrieved you the same way that I aggrieved Lynn, right? Like I fucked y'all over the same way. Yeah. It was still different. There's still a contract that I had with you, still a contract that I had with Lynn. So you got to review all your documents. I got to review all Lynn's documents. Now it's 1,200. I got to review all Earl's documents and Keisha's documents. Yeah. And now you just have to do that, and it takes a long time. I mean, the average life of a lawsuit, bro, 3-4 years is nothing. And that's A versus B.
Well, right now it's 10 years going on.
Right. So when you have 1,200 people, 10 years, okay.
Well, if you had to really guess or think, how long, when would something like this will probably finally be? Because I don't see it going all the way through. I see a settlement. There's more likely all these are settlements, right?
Yeah, it'll end up settling for a pool of money. But I say probably another
10 years.
I'd probably say another 5-10 years. Easy. Because what happens? So the way that time helps the defense is because the fighters from 2016 are probably not fighting anymore,
and they're getting poor, and then I mean, and freaking.
And so now it's like how much? Oh, I do that. Okay, that's gonna be $250,000 a person. Man, no, I'm still in my prime. Now I'm not in my prime anymore. Oh, it's gonna be $100,000 a person.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe, but now it's a little longer. $50,000 a person. I'll take it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And now all of a sudden,
and that's why I say that's why they drag it out so long, because then they're just waiting for people pockets to drain more and stuff like that. Okay, so let me ask you this question, all right? Because I see a big change happening. Let's say this thing ends tomorrow, all right?
Okay.
Like that. Everybody gets paid out, whatever it is. I don't, you can put the number on it. Let's just say the bare minimum, they settled at 1.6 billion, all right, like that, and everybody gets paid freaking, probably like $200,000, some shit like that, after all 1,200, get their money, whatever, like that. All right. So effectively taking away that they can freaking, go and freaking their contracts, be a free agent. How many do you see jumping ship and finding a better deal at PFL or ONE or something like that?
I think that the UFC will have to undergo a major restructuring with the way that they handle their athletes if they are not successful in the class action lawsuit.
Yeah.
Because what's going to happen is because that's now going to shape all your new negotiations.
No, of course.
Because what happens is if they determine that these old contracts are they're illegal, right? Like you can't use those. So then your current contracts that are the same are now no longer valid.
Look up right now how many contract fighters are in the UFC. What would you have to guess it?
Oh, man, I'd probably say 500 to 1,000.
500,000 fighters.
Oh yeah.
How many fighters are in
across the weight classes?
Yeah.
As of 2023, there are 578 fighters contracted under UFC.
You imagine just all of them, boom, overnight, free freaking
At 100%.
agencies like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. And okay, now let's look up PFL and then look up one, see how many contracts they own.
I'm bouncing.
Yes.
Because once you realize that they were, because there's some people. So when you first start, you get your first contract. You're just happy to have that contract. It just happened to rappers all the time. They would get their first contract with Sony, but then they started realizing that they were getting fucked over. So now they started doing independent labels.
Yeah.
You know, Drake
They
independent.
own all their music rights, everything like that. They don't have to.
So one championship has 600 fighters, and PFL has 72 in 6 weight classes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
There's gonna be a huge, there's gonna be a massive shift.
so okay, as a free agent, it's always a head scratcher to me, when you see someone like LeBron James taking 1-year deals like that.
Right.
What is the benefit of that? What do you see like is the benefit of that?
Freedom.
Because the next year like that, and then like I think it's a double-edged sword, with that, because 1 year, like, okay, let's say, you take a 1-year contract, boom, you freaking have career highs and, freaking that 1 year, and it really boosts your stock, you know what I mean? As for, okay, I was worth 30 mil this year, I got career highs now, freaking, I can ask 45, 50 mil, pay me,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So I feel like, there's a big benefit, but then you're on 1-year deal, shit goes south. You break your fucking, or tear something, break, you blow your knee out, or, like that. You probably fuck your elbow over like that. You know what I mean? You probably had dismal numbers, and it's on 1-year deal. So that fucking organization, like, fuck yeah. I don't have to pay him again another year like that. I don't. And then you try to come back on maybe you have to take a whole year off, you know what I mean? And you try to come back, and now you went from 30, now you're like half that, 15, maybe 12, million, like that.
It's that freedom though, because what do we see all the time? We see athletes, football players, basketball players hoping to get traded. I want to get traded. They want out of their contract. They want out of their contract because of some beef with the home office, the back office, whatever it is, and you get that freedom, and it's like, like sometimes it's worth it, bro.
For just a short-term contract.
Sometimes it's worth it.
What do you see the benefits with the long-term contracts?
Oh, it's guaranteed.
It's not guaranteed money.
The benefit of a long-term contract is depending on the way it's written, because they have those long-term contracts where it's an $84 million contract, right? But you're only guaranteed $1 million a year. Yeah. You have to hit these certain benchmarks in order to get.
There's incentives. There's always incentives and stuff.
Right.
Look at
they're all
Joe
incentivized.
Burrow yesterday. Freaking super rich contract, all right? $225 million for 5 years, guaranteed $219 million. All right, and then freaking for him, obviously he has to play, he has to hit certain amount of touchdowns, not freaking certain, not throw enough interceptions, whatever it is, like all that shit to really pay in full the whole 225.
Right.
Like that. Do you see contracts like that happening in MMA? Not just UFC, but just in MMA.
I think what you're going to start seeing is boxing contracts.
What do you mean?
Remember how boxing had the some people were signed with the promoters, but most boxers just had like that, like they had a deal today, like they had a 1-fight deal. Like, this will be your fight, you'll be on this promotion, this card, and that's it. There were very few, like, Don King had Mike Tyson as a stable fighter. Oscar De La Hoya had a couple of stable fighters. But for the most part, everybody was like, you want this fight? You can have this fight with this contract, and that's what you got. And I think that you'll end up I think the MMA will either end up with stables, where you have, instead of it being Black Zillions, it'll be the Black Zillion stable. All these people are under this promotion.
Promoters having their own fighters.
They're having their own fighters, and then that's where it's coming from. But I can easily see like some guys like a lot of these guys, like a lot of 560 fighters. Name 20.
20 of them. But freaking like majority of them. I'm gonna probably. Within each weight class, I could probably name you top 3, who's in the top 3 in freaking each weight class. Yeah. That's about it.
So I don't need to contract with the guy that's number 20. you get a 1 fight deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here you go. You come out, you make your money. You win, maybe you get another one. You lose,
Yeah.
so long.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of thing that's going to help feed the PFL, and that's what helped feed Bellator for so long, is that all the people that kind of washed out of the UFC, they had a place to go with that thing. But
do you remember? And I think I did send it to y'all. That one thing I was showing you about Logan Paul and what his big issue with Dana White is, and the payouts and stuff like that, and talking about like the bare minimum should be $50,000. You remember? Can you recall exactly what he was talking about? Man, I really want to. I wish I could remember that, and I put that on. I wish I would have put those on the notes and stuff like that. Because that's his big whole thing right there, is that Zuffa as a whole is making all this money and stuff like that, and they at minimum they can afford to pay out even the bottom, so to speak, bottom feeders, freaking that much money to make a living, and and cover their training for the year, and the coaches and their recovery and stuff like that to stay healthy, like that. But obviously Dana White is just being tight with everything, and if you're not a name, then hey, guess what? You're not gonna get paid like that. So but it's just, it's tough.
It's really, really hard when you so let's go back to Sweat Equity 1, when we were talking about having that dream, and you were talking
It's
about
not enough just to work hard no more.
you were talking about not only having that dream, but like you had to be willing to see it through to fruition. Business owners, fighters, everybody. There's always people out there preying on the fact that you have this dream.
Yeah.
And so, you want to start a business, Lynn? Oh, what do? You grow plants? Here, I'm gonna give you a loan, but you're gonna get a 19% APR on this loan.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you don't think about what 19% means.
Yeah.
Until it's time to start paying the low back, and they're preying on your dream, and that's what that's what I mean. That's what these people doing. That's what people do, and that's what they do in the fight business. So that's just what they do.
Yep.